Ali Drew for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Andy Lee, who is here in Belfast for Paddy Donovan, who is fighting. How good has he been in the lead up to this fight?
He's in excellent condition. I haven't been able to train with him as much as I would have liked to. Thanks to Frank Warren, it's well publicised. I had a baby in July, and so I've really been out at the gym a lot. But his dad's been doing a lot of the training with him, and his dad's an excellent coach. I've seen him spar a couple of times, and he's in flying form. Yeah.
Congratulations on the new baby. Yeah, it was publicised due to the fact that the fight between Joyce Parker and Joyce was postponed because of that. Were you not happy with the fact that that was released and that was the reason?
Yeah, there was a million other reasons. They had all year to make the fight, and I told them that July is not. I'm not able to do anything in July, so they could have made. They had all year to make the fight. They announced at the Fury time, even though it was a million miles away from being signed, and all this stuff, like last minute stuff. Listen, the morning of the press conference, me and Joe were talking, and he wasn't going to that press conference. It was signed the morning of the press conference, the fight, and Joe was on a train 10 minutes later. So I listen, whatever about the negotiation, I'm glad the fight's made now, and yeah, I'm going to see who's the better man.
So that fight is now going ahead. It's finally happening. We saw them come head to head the other day. What do you make of that fight? It's been a fight that's been talked about for a long time, and it's a big fight for both of them. But what do you make of how you see the fight going?
It's a difficult fight for both men. Both will have to overcome different things. We know what Joyce does. He's aggressive. He's unrelenting. He brings a lot of pressure, and he's a big man. But Parker, my Joseph, incredible hand speed. I don't think Joyce ever fought somebody like Joe Parker before, and I think Parker is all wrong for Joyce. They'll be banking on coming on strong later on, I think, and but for our Joseph, it's just it's an exercise in concentration, it's an exercise in conditioning, and being emotionally calm when he's under pressure, and just boxing and executing the game plan.
Because both Joes are extremely experienced in the fight game. How important is it for Parker to get the win in this fight and then to go on to the big fight?
Well, Parker is an elite heavyweight, and Joyce has never been in that company yet. So whoever wins the fight is the main challenger to the top 3 or 4 guys who are, Joyce, Usyk, Joshua, Tyson, if he's still fighting, and Wilder, who's still a force. But whoever wins this fight will be right in the mix with those 3, so it'll be the top 5.
Do you think it's going to be an entertaining fight? Probably not going to go the distance?
I think it'll be, yeah, I think so. I think because Joyce brings pressure and he's easy to hit. And Joe's punching power is increasing all the time. We've been working on it. As you saw in the second Chisora fight, the amount of times he dropped Chisora, and you don't see that often. And yeah, so I think Joe will be landing a lot, my Joe. And the big Joe, Joyce, will be chasing. And it's can he catch him? And can Joyce catch Parker without getting caught and hurt himself? I think Joyce was hurt against Hammer when you watch the fight. He's hurt several times, and although he has a great chin, you can't keep taking punches like that. Eventually it'll catch up with you.
Well, the big fight that is happening in, I think it's 2 weeks now, is obviously the rematch between Usyk and AJ in Saudi Arabia. How do you see that going? Obviously you've got an interest in that, the fact that you've got Parker in your stable, you've been alongside Fury in his last few camps. So how do you see that fight going, and who do you think is going to get the win on that?
To be honest with you, I haven't put much thought to the fight. It'll be an incredible turnaround if Joshua can win. It'll be one of the best comebacks in history, I think, because the first fight was so definitive, and I think Usyk would have gained great confidence. from that first performance. And I think there'll be a lot less fear from Usyk. I don't think he'll be as cautious. And Joshua's going to have a lot of doubts. He's going to have a lot of, he's going to have to. It's a big mental block for Joshua. And Manuel Shute always say the better boxer will win the rematch. And if you look at them as boxers, you'd say that's Usyk. For me, I'd say Usyk wins, but it's heavyweight boxing and you never know. Especially someone who can punch like Joshua. He's got to really go for it.
Well, hopefully the winner of that will go on to fight Fury. Maybe that's what Fury's saying. He'll fight if AJ wins. He'll fight the winner if it's AJ. You were obviously in camp with Sugar Hill and Fury. How did that come about in the first place?
Oh, well, it's well documented now that Tyson rang me up, not sure what year, it was like 2019, the end of 2019. He was coming up for the second Wilder fight, said I need a new coach. And I was shocked because him and Ben seemed to have such a good relationship. And there was only one man. We went through every trainer in the world because between us we know everybody would have had some sort of interaction with different coaches or saw them in gyms. And the only man who I really thought, after we'd gone through a few names, and I said, who I would think would really be good was Sugar Hill. And Tyson said, Andy, I was thinking about him too. And so, as it worked out, it's been a perfect pairing, not just as coach and boxer, but also the personalities.
Do you think that Tyson Fury is retired? Do you think he's going to come back? What do you think is going on there?
Even during the fight week with White, he was adamant that was the last fight. When I spoke to him since, he's been quite content with his decision. But he's always in the gym, and there's always going to be a temptation, and there'll be huge amounts of money thrown at him. So, and he's still the best heavyweight in the world. So, I could see him fighting, but I could also see him happily retiring. It's up to him. Only he knows, and I don't even think he really knows either. So, it just depends on the day of the week. You know yourself.
If he does decide to come back, do you think we're going to see that super fight between AJ and Fury? We don't know what's going to happen in the rematch, but do you think, regardless of that, do you think deep down we're going to see that ever?
Well, it kind of loses its shine if AJ loses again, doesn't it? And it'd still be a good fight. It's like, and the loss is not the end, but it'd be hard to see it. There'd be great clamour for him versus Usyk after that fight. I remember before when there was all that step aside money going around, and I know it was quite close at one stage. So it'll be Tyson. Whoever wins the fight, but that's the fight to be made. Whoever wins the fight will be a challenger for Tyson.
Busy time for you at the moment. You're, as you say, baby. You've got Paddy Donovan in action. You've got Parker. You're on your punditry commentary duties. Is there going to be any time off for you soon?
No, I've had a lot of time off. I haven't done anything since Tyson's fight. I've been home and consciously made that decision to be home. So I'm ready to get back in the gym now. I'm excited for the fight. I'm constantly thinking about Parker and Joyce, and I just can't get it off my mind. So I'm waking up in the middle of the night, and things are coming to me in my dreams about how we're going to win this fight and how good it's going to be. And if Parker does what I think this is going to go on to Joe and to Joseph there, yeah. So if Parker can do what I think he can do, it could be like a Calzaghe-Lacey situation where he outclasses him. And then there is a rematch clause, but if Parker does what I want him to do and what I think he can do, I can't see there being much clamour for the rematch. So that's my job, to put Parker in a position and put on a performance where there ain't going to be no rematch.
Well, looking forward to that fight, and good luck with Paddy tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Ali. Thank you very much.